As George Campbell put so nicely, empathy allows us to leave our own biases and assumptions behind and understand who our users are, which can reveal powerful insights into product and design innovations. In order to get ready for your research activities, to gain empathy and reveal those insights, you need to plan a few things in advance. First, you will want to agree on the research outcomes with all your key stakeholders. Then you'll need to define who you should talk to and include in your research activities. You actually need to go out and find those participants and recruit them. You need to then create a guide to structure your research activity for your team and for yourself, plan some logistics, and finally brief the team before you go out and conduct your study. Agreeing on the research outcomes with your key stakeholders for the project is really, really important. Think about it as starting at the end. If your team had done all the research already, what could they accomplish? To agree on outcomes with your stakeholders, schedule about 30 minutes with them individually and figure out what's the business objective driving this research activity. Are there any specific goals for the research that they have in mind? What are the problems they're hoping to solve with the insights that could be gained in the research? What questions are we trying to answer? And who might the target user be? After you've interviewed them 30 minutes one-on-one, get them all in a room together, schedule an hour meeting or so, and agree on a common set of outcomes. This is really important because only if you have an alignment with your team does your research really have a great impact. So after you agreed on your research outcomes with your team and your key stakeholders, and you discussed who your target users might be, you want to further define who you're going to go out and talk to based on the description in the stakeholder meeting earlier. Think about it this way. You can only find needs that are representative of your target market if the people you talk to in your research activity are actually representative of that market. So this is the time to do it. In order to define who should participate, write down the most important characteristics that identify your target users. Oftentimes, the best characteristics are behaviors that can be measured easily. For example, if you are working on a project on travel expenses and your target users are frequent travelers, you might characterize them as user or travelers who travel more than once per month. You might also want to include people who expense tickets for marketing executives and managers. So your characteristics here would be people who expense tickets for, let's say, at least one person a month. After you have defined those characteristics, you can think about questions that you can ask potential candidates to see if they fit those characteristics. And it might be hard to write down and define those characteristics, but don't skip this step because it might actually reveal that your team doesn't have a good understanding of who your users really should be. So make sure that either you clear up that you guys need to do more thinking on who they should be, or work a little bit harder on defining these characteristics so you can go out and find the right participants. If it's really a challenge to think about who should be the right participants, think about who should not be the right participants. This is approaching the same question from a different angle.